So talking about these vertical industries, which you mentioned, what do you think might be the, I assume that your focus has changed because, you know, some industries suffered more, some less. Do you feel that some industries or areas of which you underestimated before are now becoming the first priority? And this is actually the question to all of you.
Yeah, so it's an excellent question. And we very quickly started to work on short-term and longer-term micro and macro analysis and looking at trends and opportunities. But we're a deep tech fund. We invest into startups with a strong scientific foundation, really these world-changing disruptive technologies. And in that respect, that hasn't changed at all. Actually, more of a so, we actually believe that these companies have even more opportunities going forward. But what we see in our first funds portfolio, most affected are automotive-related technologies, industry-related solutions. For example, if you do a inspection technology or camera for big factories, you know, it's really difficult to deploy them or sell them currently. So these automotive and industry-related companies are very much affected, as are companies selling, let's say, detection technologies or security solutions for wide spaces and commercial venues. So that's a very clearly an area that is strongly impacted. And then again, like you have health-related diagnostics companies, biotech, which is really kind of a gaining even more earlier traction than in the old world. So those are the immediate impacts. But in a way, if in the fundamental level, the idea of the startup and the company is good and they're doing, you know, building the company in the right manner, I think this will be a kind of a bump in the road, and you will kind of grow to become even stronger for the next phase.
Yeah, if I may, just a quick comment, and this is sort of parroting what Fred Destin said on our podcast, but I thought it was a really good comment. If you're an investor and you're now chasing the companies that are actually doing well in this sort of environment, you're in online education or in healthcare, bringing medical professionals closer to patients, or in online entertainment and streaming, you're sort of chasing the things that were already developing into something quite healthy. So if I was a VC or an angel investor, you know, whatever the stage, I'd be looking at the technologies that are going to be important when we get out of this crisis. And these might be completely different than the ones that are actually booming now. You know, the video conferencing tools and the online consultations and all that, they were already sort of coming up. That is not investing in the future. In my opinion, you now need to look at the sectors that are going to change dramatically and where the opportunities for very small companies compared to incumbents are going to come from. And those might be completely different than the ones that are booming now.
Yeah, but if I may, I think, you know, it's one of the things that angel investors love is to invest in disruption and innovation. I think that's some of the companies that are doing really well right now. For example, in ed tech, as you mentioned, Robin, or in e-delivery of bioproducts or whatever, are companies in which our angels have invested, you know, 3 to 5 years ago, where, you know, it was a bit early sometimes for the market, and now, you know, it's really booming. So I think if I go back to the hot sectors that our angels are looking at the moment, I think, of course, you know, anything digital in education, and that's obviously an important one. I think fintech and, you know, solutions, platforms, or solutions that are going to help provide solutions for private individuals or SMEs. I think that that would be quite interesting. And in terms of health, also, B Angel members have been investing in about 20% of the portfolio is in the health sector. And we have felt in the recent years that was growing, and I think that this is going to, it's a growing trend. We're really seeing that the first actually deals that we have closed this year the majority of them are in health. And when I talk about health, it's from biotech to e-health to medical devices. Actually, one of our deals closed $125 million round a couple of weeks ago during COVID. So I think at least these are 3 sectors that are really interesting at the moment for the angels. I think the last comment I would make is that if we look at maybe how the COVID has impacted angel deals at the moment, for sure, because at least we as an angel group, we also have different instruments and vehicles for different parts of the supply chain. So we have tools for student entrepreneurs. So we go to look for the deals very, very early on at the universities, but we also have seed funds, and we are currently doing the back office for about 22 investment vehicles. And what we see is that the way the COVID has impacted the choice of investors is that they're much more looking at, must-have solutions probably. And this is going to be the priority, what type of problem are you really solving? And what we've experienced as a health and sanitary crisis is having the angels really focus on that. And I think that's probably the deals that are going to suffer, quote unquote, or have a harder time to close are, notwithstanding the quality of the entrepreneurs, those who have solutions or technologies that are nice to have, but are not corresponding really to the anxiety or the solution level that is expected right now from angels.
Nastasya, please switch on the microphone.
Dmitry, what is happening on the other side of Europe? Do you feel that the investors in Russia, they have the similar attitude as the angels that Claire was describing and VCs that Philippe was describing? And do you feel that their focus on particular verticals strengthened since the start of the COVID?
Okay, at first, the most active early stage VC in Russia. We have about 400 startups in our portfolio, and we have more than 30 exits. In January of this year, we raised additional money from our LP, and we continue to actively invest in early stage startups right now. For example, we have a plan to close 5 new deals in May. As about Russia, actually we have additional crisis effects because oil price goes down and Russian currency is getting weaker. And it means that Russian VCs and angels like startups with revenue in euro or in dollars. And many Russian investors looking for opportunity outside of the Russia. Actually, if we talk about the crisis is the best time for investment because we have a lot of new opportunity. And I think that startup estimation will go down. If we talk about angels in Russia and VCs in Russia, on the other hand, business angels also have his own businesses. And they became short of money because they have to save their own businesses. And they don't have enough money for new investment. They are trying to save his own businesses and trying to save his previous investment. Some of Russian VCs can't attract money from LPs, and they also short of money. And this is why not so many investors are still active at this time. Some of investors have money, but they taken a waiting position. And if we talk about new priorities in this moment, from my perspective, the first priority is cash is king. Profitability today is better than some promising future. You can't predict when fundraising will become easy again, like it was before the coronavirus, and you need to be profitable right now if you can, or save your money for as long period as you can. Also, what I see, everybody cut his expenses. It means that your product has to be very useful in the must-have category. If your product just a vitamin, you need to pivot your product into a drug for every day. Because it can save your revenue and user base. If we talk about the sectors, hot sectors, I completely agree with online education. Education for B2B education. For example, in our portfolio, we have a startup for online education for schools. Right now, all schools in Russia are closed, and every students are right now online. And these startups increase amount of students 10 times and consumption by 100 times. They reach user base more than Coursera, but all users from Russia, and it means capitalization not so great. Also, very interesting entertainment startups, because many people right now have to stay at home, and online entertainment usually 10 times cheaper than offline. And they have only online at first, and also they can save money in this situation. And also very interesting productivity and like collaboration tools. And this is very hot sector. For example, Russian startups Mero at last week raised $50 million from Iconic Capital.